Are you looking for money saving strategies for your business and personal finances? Are you tired of working hard every day with little or nothing to show for it? Contact Prosperity Financial Services LLC right now for your free financial consultation. Call now to reserve yours today. 804-349-8600. 804-349-8600.
All right. Welcome back to Purpose and Power Live. I am Stephen Walker, your Purpose and Power coach, and I am here to help you walk in your purpose and get your power back. I hope you're ready for this. I want you to take notes. Why don't you share this out, tell a friend, get everybody on board. This is going to be great. We are actually in our third week. Can you believe it? Our third week of walking in the Purpose and Power series. So congratulations, you're watching this third video. If you have not seen videos 1 and 2, make sure you go back and watch those. They were absolutely powerful. And for you, and just for you tonight, for those who haven't watched the first 2 videos, we're going to do a really quick recap since you're now just joining us. First, in week 1, we covered time. In week 1, we actually covered time, which is just completely amazing. We looked at how to master time. And we looked at the steps. And so I only pointed out 2 different steps. But the first step, to help you understand time, we took a look at a typical 24-hour day. Now, I'm going to do this real quick for you. If this is your first time, this is going to blow your mind. A 24-hour day consists of, and we're talking about for adults, if you work an 8-hour day, then that means you have 16 hours left, right? Now, follow this. In the 24-hour day, you work 8 hours, you have 16 hours left. And if you sleep for 8 hours, that means you have 8 hours left. Now, the question that you have to answer is, what are you doing with those 8 hours? Think about it. Every day you have 8 hours that you probably can't even account for, but you need to start doing that. So you need to write that down and figure out where your time is going and how are you investing your time. Now, this is the key. If you're going to walk in purpose and power, that means that you're not just going to wake up every day and go to work and work a job and just come home and eat and wash up and go to sleep and start it all over, this endless cycle, right? That's not why God put you on the earth. There's something you need to do and that only you can do, and that is your purpose. And so this is going to help you kind of narrow down time to figure out what that is and to begin walking in that. So you got those 8 hours. And so we covered that in week 1, and we took a look at that. It was completely amazing. Now, we're talking about how to master time, and that was in week 1. There was a second step. And the second step was for you to look at your time. All right. And there were 7 keys to mastering time. And I gave those out in video 1. And I'm going to actually go ahead and give those to you again. The first thing is we took a look at how are you managing your time? How are you managing your time? Now, these are 7 steps. Hopefully, you're already taking notes. How are you managing your time? Do you have a plan in place to manage your time? The second thing we looked at is scheduling your time. Scheduling your time. Do you have a schedule for how your time needs to be spent? The third thing is, how are you wasting time? Wasting time. And a lot of us, time is like air. It slips through our fingers. It's like sand or water. You just can't even hold it. It looks like there's just not enough time in the day to do the things you need to do. And we talked about that. The next thing was spending time. How are you spending time? Right? What do you spend your time on? And you have to take a look at, what am I actually spending my time on? What am I doing? The next thing is investing time. Where are you investing your time at? How are you investing your time to make your life better? All right. The next thing we looked at was donating time. Where are you donating your time? Where are you giving your time away? Because think about it this way: your life is filled with seconds and minutes and hours and days. That's time. So every second, minute, hour, day that you spend doing something, you're giving your life away. And that's life you'll never get back. Right. So that's something we looked at. It's important if you're going to really master time. And then the next thing we looked at was devoting time. What have you blocked time off to help you grow spiritually, mentally, and get yourself grounded, right? So those were the things we looked at when it came to time. And then we moved on to the next week. In week 2, we took a look at the power of now. The power of now, because we know we're talking about time, right? And so there's past, there's present, there's future. But then really what you really only have is now, this moment, right here, right now. You're watching this video, you're living in the present moment. This is now. This is really all you have at any time is now, because the past is gone. And we talked about it in week 2, that yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, and today is a gift. That's why it's called the present. All right, think about that. That's why it's called the present. So this gift we have, this gift of now, is a present tense mindset that you have to have in order for you to operate and master your time. All right. And we looked at and we answered 3 questions. And these were the 3 questions. What are you doing right now? Like in your life, in this stage of your life, what are you actually doing right now? What are you accomplishing? What are you fulfilling? What aren't you accomplishing? What aren't you fulfilling? The next thing we looked at is, what are you working on now? Like, what is your in process kind of things? What are those things? And then the third question we answered is, what are you thinking about, hoping? What are you planning for now? Like now, what are you thinking about, hoping, and planning for? Because that's taking up your moments. That's taking up your second to second, minute to minute now. That's determining your tomorrow, your future. Okay. So all of that's critically important. And if you're going to walk in complete purpose and in complete power, you're going to have to master these things, because that's how you're going to get there. We also looked at some laws, right? Some laws that govern the reality of your now. Now, I'm going to say that again, and I'm really hoping as your purpose and power coach, I want to encourage you. Let me say it that way. As your purpose and power coach, I want to encourage you to take these notes, okay? Or rewind this video, watch it again, and take notes. All right, so we want to look at the laws that govern the reality of your now, okay? So we looked at Sir Isaac Newton, his first law of motion. All right, it's sometimes called the law of inertia. It states that any object that is at rest stays at rest, okay? Any object at rest stays at rest, and any object in motion stays in motion. All right, so let me give you just a real quick summary of what that means. If you've ever gone bowling, for example, and you see a bowling ball on the rack, you're standing in the lane, that ball is at rest. Those pins are at rest. You're standing there. You're at rest. So any object at rest tends to stay at rest, right? So if you're going to master this law of inertia or this law of motion, what you have to do is you have to initiate action. When you initiate action, that means when you reach out and you grab that ball and you pick it up, that ball is no longer in motion. You're no longer, that ball is no longer at rest. You're no longer at rest. You're actually in motion now. Why? Because you have intent, you have desire, you have a vision, you have focus. And when you set to throw the ball, you actually are now thinking about what you're going to do. When you go and you release that ball is in motion. It's heading towards the pin. Those pins are at rest. And what it takes is action to impact something at rest. It takes motion to impact something at rest, to move it. And then that object in motion will stay in motion, right? So until something opposite hits it, right? So when the ball hits the pins, they explode. Hopefully you get a strike. But the point is, we need to create movement. We need to create action. You need to create movement in your life and action to change your outcomes. Now, write this down. In order for things to change, something has to change. And that thing that has to change is you. All right, let's go again. We're going to write it down. All right. In order for things to change in your life, something has to change. And that thing that has to change is you. All right. So that's the key. That's a spiritual key. To be different, you have to become different. You have to become a different person. Why? Because the person you are and the person you have become has gotten you what you have right now. Okay. And so the things that you have done and the things that you're doing is giving you the life you now have. All right. And you can look at your life and all of that you got because of the things you've done. If you want a different life, if you want things to change what you're doing in life, and you change the outcome of your future, and it becomes different than what it is now. Okay. And that happens in all kind of spaces and places. If you read a book, you get educated. If you exercise, you get strong. You know, if you eat healthy, if you eat right, you'll be healthier, right? So there's a lot of cause and effects there. But the point is, if you change yourself and you change the things that you're doing, thinking, saying, being, then you get a different result from all of those actions. It's important that you understand that, because that's the third law of motion. Now, this week is different. All right. So this week, week 3, we want to continue, and we want to give you a thought to think on. And the thought that you need to think on this week is, it's time to begin. Write that down. I'm not even going to say another word until you do it. Okay. Yes, I am. It's time to begin. And that's what I want you to do. I want you to think about this. If you want a better life, if you want things to be different in your life, then you have to begin. All right. You can't sit still for things to change. You have to begin. All right. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to say this to yourself. It's time for me to begin. I want you to go ahead, say it to yourself. It's time for me to begin. The question is, what is it time for you to begin? What is it? Well, it's time for you to begin your journey to walking in purpose and power. I'm gonna stop right here. I feel like I need to stop to talk to you a little bit about this. I mean, what are we doing here? I mean, what are we talking about? Am I here just talking to hear myself talk? No, I'm here to encourage you as your purpose and power coach to understand this one thing. In order for your life to be different next year, this time, you're going to have to make some changes. That's just the reality. You cannot be the same person you are right now and expect a different result next year. That's insanity. It doesn't work that way. And the fact that you're watching this video, and I commend you for still watching this video, means that this is resonating inside of you. This is something that you're saying to yourself, you know what? I do need to make some changes. You know what? I'm tired of being sick and tired. I don't like my job. I don't like my friends. I don't like the way I feel. I don't like the way I think. I don't like the way the world is. There's a whole bunch of I don't likes. And, those are called pain points. And when you feel enough pain, you get motivated to change. Write that down. When you feel enough pain, you get motivated to change. Now, you need to think about this right now. Do you really want to have your life change, or are you satisfied with the way things are? Because if you're satisfied, you can stop watching this video. You can go back to scrolling on Facebook or doing whatever you were doing on TikTok, or because this is not for you. This is only for those people who are ready in this very moment. They're right now, to make a change, because that's the only time things are going to change. When your mind links up with your heart and your spirit, that's the only time your body will flow with you to change anything. Other than that, you're just wasting time. And I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to waste time, because this is the time that you have to begin your journey to walking in purpose, which means why you were created. And maybe you've asked that question. Maybe you're thinking to yourself, why was I created? I mean, really, why am I here? I know I'm a living being. I know I'm a human. I have a body. I have a mind. I have a spirit. But why am I here? What's the purpose of life, this life that I've been given? What is it for? Is it for me just to watch TV or play on my phone or talk to my friends or just go out to drink coffee at Starbucks? What is the purpose for my life? What am I doing with this tremendous resource that I've been given, this energy that I've been given, this life that I've been given? What is my purpose? And I believe that everyone that's born has been sent here by God with a purpose. That's the only reason why you came. You could have been born at any time in history. Why were you born when you were born? Whatever your birthday is. Why were you born on that date? Why were you born at that year? Why were you born in that state or that place? Why were you born to that family in that community? Why? It's because God needed you to be there. And I believe that every person that's alive has a purpose. That's why we're here. And our life's greatest reward is to find your purpose and to walk in it. That's life's greatest joy and purpose, is to find out what your purpose is and to walk in it. So what we have to do now is we have to take a look at the fact that you are wanting to change your outcomes. You have to understand something, that it may be, you may right at this point go, I don't know my purpose. I mean, even just to think about, how do I find my purpose? How do I walk in it? How do I get the power? Like it may seem so far away from you that you're like in the middle of a desert, like, I have no clue. I don't even know which direction to walk in. But this is the thing. It said that every journey, and this is the key, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. It could be 1,000-mile journey, but all you have to do and all you're responsible for is taking the first step. Exactly right. Or maybe you heard it this way. That every journey begins with taking the first step, right? So if you're going to go on a journey, it doesn't happen until you actually start walking, which means you start thinking, you know what, there's a journey to take. This is the reality that I'm now living in. I'm no longer stuck in place. I'm no longer just working in this job. I'm no longer just living in this house or this apartment or in this place. No, this is my now. This is my moment. This place where I'm at is my starting point to walking this journey to purpose and power. Why? Because this time next year, I won't be in the same spot. Why? Because I have a vision now that I'm on a journey. I hope that gave some of y'all a breakthrough. I mean, I'm feeling it myself. Look, it's a journey. And when you know you're about to take a journey, you get kind of excited. If you knew you were going on a trip, a vacation, think about, matter of fact, I want you to imagine, what's the one place you would love to go to in the world? Like, what's your best, what would be your ideal place, vacation spot, or place to visit? What would be that place? I want you to imagine that, and imagine that this time next year, you would be in that place. What that does is it gives you vision for where you're going. And it actually says in your spirit and in your body, you're saying, I'm going somewhere. I'm not just sitting here. I'm not just going through day-to-day minutia. I'm actually moving in a direction of something that I desire. That's what I want for you to get tonight. I want you to know that it is time for you to begin your journey to walking in purpose and power. And the very fact that you can imagine a place to go, it could be the mountains, it could be the beach. I mean, it could be to go visit a family member or to hang out with your friends somewhere or to travel the world somewhere, wherever that is for you, whatever that place is for you, that's your destination. That's the journey you want to take. Then all of a sudden it opens up the possibilities for you. Why? Because now you understand something very important. That if I'm going to get there, I have to move from where I am, take the proper steps, and walk that direction. That's what we're talking about tonight. And we're talking about, or today, that's what we're talking about today, to get you to start walking in your purpose and in your power. And I want you to think about this. If you don't take that first step, I mean, if you never take that step, you would never walk in your purpose or fulfill your destiny. Now let's let that sink in. If you never take the first step, you would never walk in your purpose and you would never fulfill your destiny. That is life's greatest tragedy. To live a life that you were given as a gift and never unpack it enough to know what it's for, and die without realizing its purpose. I mean, graveyards are filled with thousands and millions of people who've lived their lives and never knew why. They lived every day, woke up, went to sleep 24 hours a day, had 24 hours a day, had weeks and months and years, decades, and died without knowing their purpose. I don't want that to be you. And as your purpose and power coach, I want to encourage you that tonight is the night that you wake up, and today is the day that you understand, and it depends on where you are on the planet, whether it's night or day, that you understand that this moment right here is the beginning mark for you. This is when you begin to walk it out. This is the beginning when you start to walking in your purpose and your power. You've already begun. The very fact that you're listening, hopefully you're taking notes and you're beginning to understand this principle of walking this journey out that you're already on. Congratulations. Now, okay, now I'm hoping you're taking notes. Now, I keep encouraging you as your purpose and power coach. You need to take notes. Why? Because this will remind you after you watch this video of what you learned. And if you don't write it down, it said that you lose 80% of what you're told by the time you leave, unless you have a photographic memory. And I don't want you to lose that much information. So make sure you, maybe you watch this video in its entirety, and then you'll go back and then you'll watch it from the beginning and start taking notes and writing down everything that speaks to you, everything that stands out, because this becomes something that will help you to be better. All right. So let's take a look at the 7 steps to walking in purpose and power. And there's 7 steps. Okay. The first step is you must have a vision. Write that down. Number 1 is you must have, or you can write down, I must have a vision. Now, what does that mean? Now, vision is different than sight. Sight is what you see with your eyes. Vision is what you see in your mind. Vision extends beyond what sight is. Sight sees what's here, right? Sight is what you're seeing right now through this video. Vision helps you see beyond time, beyond this moment, this now. It helps you see into the future. It's vision, all right? Miles Monroe, actually, a really super intelligent guy, one of my mentors, he actually said that God gave us an imagination so that we could go into the future and see what's possible and then come back into the present and bring it into being. That's what vision does. So, for example, let's just say someone says, you know what? I think I want to be a doctor. I'm going to be a doctor. And what they do is they have a vision of them becoming a doctor, and they see it. They see themselves in there getting their white coat, getting their stethoscope, working at the hospital and helping and blessing people. They see themselves doing that now. With their vision, they envision it happening, and they begin to walk it out. They got to go to college. They got to pass all their classes. They got to do everything they need to do. And then one day what happens is, as they continue to walk that journey out, because this is their vision, what they're living for, right? It becomes a part of their purpose. And every day, everything they do helps them get one step closer to bringing that to pass. And before you know it, time passes. They do A, B, C, and D. And all of a sudden, they get exactly what they wanted. Why? Because they had a vision for it, and they set out to get this thing to happen. Now, these are the 7 steps to walking in purpose and power. And number 1 is you must have a vision. Where are you going? What do you want? What is it? What is it that you want to achieve? Right? That's what you got to take a look at. And this is something that comes over time. You may not know right now, but the point that you even thinking about it changes everything already. Because now, even in your subconscious, you're calling out of your heart the desire that you have to walk in. And part of your vision, and in terms of walking in purpose, probably has a lot to do with your skills and your abilities. Skills are things that you learn. Abilities are things that you have, like a talent. It's a gift. It's something you're born with. It's something that's natural. So if you combine your skills and your talents together, that's where your purpose comes in. Those things are equipping you to fulfill your purpose. And oftentimes, it's the things that bring you joy. It's the things that you would do for free. It's the things that either challenge you or bother you when you hear them in the world, and you want to fix that thing. All 3 of those things are tied to your purpose. So the next thing is, once you start to kind of formulate what your skills and your talents are, or what the problems are that you want to fix, and you write all these things out, which I encourage you to do. I encourage you to write down all your skills, then write down all your talents. I don't care how many pages it takes. And then write down all the things you don't like in the world around you, which you don't like. And I'm not even going to give you any specifics on that, whatever that means to you, whatever you don't like in the world around you. And then what'll happen is, as you start to write all that out, it'll become like a roadmap to, wait a minute, I can do these things, and this would make me happy. And whatever that thing is, and usually it's something you would actually do for free, or maybe you're already doing it for free and you never even thought about monetizing it. Big word, right? Monetize, but you never thought about how you can make money from it or how you can live off of doing that thing. Then all of a sudden it becomes your livelihood and you're happy. And every day you're not going to work, you're going to fun, because to you it's fun. It's what I'm living in, this freedom of time, space, and I'm able to do everything I want. You know why? Because I'm in control of it. I'm walking in purpose, and I have the power to do that. Number two, and this is critically important, is you must plan. Write that down. You must plan. Why? Because the person that fails to plan plans to fail. I'll say that again. You must plan. The person that fails to plan plans to fail. Why? Because you're not writing out the steps you need to take and the things you need to do. The plan is not a solid thing, it's a fluid thing. It begins with this is what I think. And then as you start walking out, you go, I need to change this and tweak this and do this and do that. Why? Because that's what the plan does. It gives you a track to begin walking on towards your purpose, right? And that's what you need to do. You need to write out a plan of how do you achieve that? How do I go from point A to point B? What is the plan to get there? And if you don't know, you can ask somebody. If it's something that you want that you know somebody else is doing, you can just go over there and just ask questions. How did you get started? What is your challenges? What would you change? What would you do differently? What would your advice be to me? You can ask all those questions and get all that research from them ahead of time, and you don't have to make a bunch of mistakes. You can learn from those who've already done it, or you can go on YouTube and you can type in how to do such and such, or how to go such and such, or how to be whatever. You can research through YouTube or Google. There's tons of information out there for free that you can get to help you plan out what you need to do. How do you plan to be this? How do you plan to become this? It's all out there. You can research it, and certainly you can pray and God will reveal to you what you need to know too. Number three is execute your plan. You must execute. Why? A plan is no good if you're not going to do it. Think about it. Every year, coming into January, everyone has plans for their New Year's resolutions. I'm gonna lose weight. I'm gonna stop smoking. I'm gonna be a better steward over my finances. I'm gonna. All these I'm gonnas, and guess what? They say it, but they don't have a plan, and they don't execute a plan, and so it never comes to pass. So number three is critically important. You have to execute your plan. And then number four is you have to decide. As you're executing your plan, you're going to have to make some decisions, and you're going to have to be very flexible. Why? Because if you're not, you're going to hurt yourself, because things are going to change because you don't know what's ahead of you. You don't know that road ahead of you actually dips down. And as it dips down, it turns left. And as it turns left, it goes back up. You don't know which direction your life is going to take you, but you have to be flexible as your plan is unfolding and you're executing your plan to make decisions along the way on what to do next. But you have to decide, and you have to be ready to make decisions. If you get stuck, make sure you reach out. And at this point, this is where I can help. As your purpose and power coach, if you're looking for someone to help guide you in your life, or guide you spiritually, or guide you in your company, or even starting a company, that's what I do. I'm a purpose and power coach, and I can help you with all of those things. You can go to my website, mypurposemypower.com. You can fill out my contact information sheet. Let me know what's going on with you, and we can schedule a time to talk. And actually, I'll give you a free 30-minute vision building consultation so we can talk about every challenge you have and see exactly how I can help you and build a plan to help you get to where you need to go. But you still have to make some decisions. And the best decisions you can make is reaching out to me so I can help you even further. All right, so check this out. Oh, again, you see the website, mypurposemypower.com. Make sure you go there. Make sure you go there. All right, and number five is you have to choose the path. There's going to be a lot of paths that pop up before you. And if you don't know which path to take, you don't want to get too far down the path that you feel like you can't turn around and come back. You can always, if you make a mistake, you can change, right? But get counsel, get a coach, get a mentor, get somebody like myself that can help guide you on the paths that are going to be before you in terms of those decisions. All right, and number 6, you have to have perseverance and determination. Why? Because the point from A and B doesn't tell you how long that's going to take. It could take a week, it could take a month, it could take a year, it could take 10 years. But the point is that you want it, you have to fight until you get it. Don't let nothing stop you. You have to keep pressing through, and you have to be determined because you want this thing, and that has to stay before you to motivate you. And number 7 is you have to reach your goal. You have to get to your goal. There's no need in starting a race if you're not going to cross the finish line. So let's make sure you cross the finish line, that you reach your goal, because you've done all 7. You got a vision, a plan, you're executing, you're deciding, You're choosing your path, you're persevering with determination, and you're reaching your goal. Now, I have after we watch these commercials, I have a guest that's going to help us tell her story. She's going to tell us about her story, how she did all 77 of these things. And if you listen all the way to the end, I'm going to give you the one key you need to know in order to be successful in your life. We'll be back right after these commercials.
Are you looking for money saving strategies for your business and personal finances? Are you tired of working hard every day with little or nothing to show for it? Contact Prosperity Financial Services LLC right now for your free financial consultation. Call now to reserve yours today. 804-349-8600. 804-349-8600.
All right, welcome back. Welcome back. We had to give a little break and a little shout out to our sponsors. We are so thankful for those who support us, and we love to support those who are doing positive things. If you have a company and you'd like to have your commercial aired during our show, make sure you reach out to me, Stephen Walker. My number is 919-208-5478. Again, the number is 919-208-5478. Now, as promised, I am bringing on someone that has experienced what you want to know, the path to your purpose and your power. Her name is Sadia Douglas, and she is the owner of Prosperity Financial Services. We want to welcome to the show, Sadia Douglas. Hey, hey.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
Oh, absolutely. I'm so excited that you are our guest during this segment. This is our third week, and we are talking to the people about walking in their purpose and their power. And there are very few people that I could call to be a part of this show that it makes sense for, and that is you. You have been walking in purpose and power your entire life, and I have witnessed it, and I'm thankful to see what you're doing now because you're absolutely shining, not just in your continents today, but in your life.
Amen. Amen. I'm part of that.
I know that was a whole lot. So we're having a good time, and we're talking to the people about what they need to do to walk in their purpose and power. And you and I actually had the chance to talk earlier today about this very thing and some of the steps that it takes to do that. And part of that is getting people unstuck. So take us back to your beginning. And we just wanted to share your journey with others. When did you get unstuck? How did that look for you?
It actually started, I had my daughter at 17. So I felt like, my daughter didn't choose to be here. So I had a responsibility to do everything I could for her. So I went to school. I said, okay. I worked. I was in the doctor's office, office manager. Finally decided, I heard about a scholarship. I am going to go get that scholarship. First, I got to go to community college so I can qualify. Mm. That was like my number one. Okay, my goal is to make a 4.0 in community college with 63 credits. Ooh. Okay, I made that because my second biggest goal was to get that scholarship to the University of Richmond so that I can be, have a degree. I won't talk about, I was thinking about being a lawyer. I changed my mind.
Wow.
Accounting is my passion, my heart.
Okay.
So I earned that scholarship to U of R. Okay.
All
And
right.
it was a struggle. Anything worth having is worth the struggle.
That's
So
right.
I actually did not get approved for the scholarship because they failed to see my second page of credits.
Mm.
I tell you, broke my heart. And I went to our transfer coordinator and she said, "Oh no, this is not true. You're our top student here." And so she called U of R, they saw the error, and they created a scholarship just for me. Look at
Okay.
God. I
Okay.
was like, thank you, thank you, thank you. I believed in faith and it happened. And my biggest goal was, okay, now once I graduate from college, I need to be able to, give my daughter a better life. She was taking dance classes and, she was enjoying herself, but I knew expenses were coming.
Right.
And I graduated, top of my class. I was so thankful that I survived it, studied
Yeah,
really
you put in the
hard.
work. You put in that work.
I did, I did. And I just knew that I had to have a goal. And the one burning goal was to graduate at the top of my class. I did that, but in preparation, I realized that, I needed another goal, but I didn't know what it was.
Mm.
And then, so when I had my twins, I knew what that goal was.
Oh yeah, you had those twin boys. That's right.
Yes, I had tons of expenses coming. And so, I always believe with children, they don't get to pick their parents. Our job is to do the best we can.
That's right.
So I decided to get my CPA. And as they got older, I knew I needed to get an MBA in order to be able to make more money.
Goodness,
So
your children hit the parent lottery, didn't they? Goodness.
I just felt an obligation,
Okay.
and so I felt like my mother sacrificed and gave us what we had, and that me and my brothers, we did everything we could do. That it was important for me to do what I can for my children. So
Mm-hmm.
being a CPA, working full time as a CFO of a multi-million dollar agency, as well as getting my MBA, it took a lot of work,
Mm-hmm.
studying late at night when the twins were asleep, and prayer, to
Wow.
be quite honest with you, because trying to fit in studying and all of the projects was a lot.
Okay, let's stop right there. Cause see this right here, I don't want the Purpose and Power Nation to miss this moment right here because we're talking Sadia, what she did was she had 3 children, she had a full-time job, and she was in school.
Yep.
That's a lot. And you may not even have that much, but yet you have been complaining. So we're going to stop the complaining because it could be you could have a lot more on you to achieve your goals. So and for those of you who are out there doing that right now, working a job, have children, are in school. Hey, look, we definitely applaud you. You guys are doing
Yeah.
what you need to do. So great job. All right, so go ahead, continue.
And I think back to when I was getting my bachelor's, like I said, I only had my daughter then. Um, I had 3 jobs. I was in school full time. I had my daughter. Thankfully, my mother was helping. But it was tough times. So I was no stranger to doing whatever I had to do when I was getting my MBA.
Mm.
And for me, I think the most important thing was every time I achieved a goal, probably a year or so prior, I developed a new goal. And that is so important because if you attain your goal and you have to recognize that you have obtained it, but two, don't just become sedentary. Have a new goal to pull you forward. And one thing that I have seen in my life is that as I have walked, the goals have come before me and I just kept walking. I celebrated when I reached a goal and then continued on my path because I didn't want to become sedentary. I did not want to be stagnant. I knew that in order to be able to provide for my family, I had to keep going.
All right, so let me ask you a question. We're going to jump into these 7 steps of walking in purpose and power. Now, we know that we're coming out of the season of the pandemic here around the world, actually, and people,
Mhm.
a lot has changed for people, and so we want to talk about these 7 steps to help get them on track. So the first step one is vision.
Yes.
All right. Step one is vision. So what does that mean for you coming out of this season of pandemic? When did you have to create a new vision for your life? How did you do that?
So I actually created a new vision a year ago when I decided to do my business full time. And thankfully, my business coach, Stephen Walker, helped me to develop my vision.
I love that guy. He's awesome.
Yeah, I love him too, because honestly, I was thinking like I was thinking when I was part time, but wasn't sure how to really do everything. And I wanted to do full time because my goal is to help make people financially free, help make families financially free so that we can create a legacy for our generation. Not just a legacy with money, but in knowledge and empower. We empower our children when they see us working in our passion, working for our goals, and sharing it with them.
So you had to get a vision for how to leave a company and start your own company.
Yeah, and my company had been in existence for 20 years, but it was part-time. And full-time is a whole nother gamut there.
All right, so that moves us to step two, which is plan.
Yes.
So you had to have a vision for it and then plan. So how did that look for you?
And so the plan for me, honestly, I can't even tell you how important a business coach is because he helped guide me through my plan, kind of develop it. He was like, you have something people need to know. I was talking a lot about the money that was available to us during the pandemic, some of the struggles people were having with unemployment. I was helping people qualify for their unemployment, helping them put their documents together. And I was also making sure people had filed their information so they could get their stimulus payments. And so we started doing videos, and I was so surprised to see I started getting calls from people who seen the video saying, "Can you help me?" I was like, "Oh, it works."
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I was excited.
So you guys can see why I brought her on. Sadia is one of my business clients, my business coaching clients. I'm her purpose and power coach. And so when I sat down with her initially, she was buying, a little bit of ads on Facebook and doing some of the kind of easy ways to market. And so I structured a plan to help her reach her target market. And that was a part of her plan, was to look, let's change your plan because what you're doing is not getting you the result that you want. And you have a window that you need this to happen if you're going to have this thing launch. And the key is you have something in you that's a part of your purpose that people need. And that need, whatever that thing is, you have to be able to present it in a way to that audience that causes them to let you know, I need it and I want to work with you to get it done. And that's exactly what we shot. We shot a couple of different videos and we posted that in different places, and it just worked. And it got her tremendous response. Matter of fact, share with the people kind of the results of that. Because we started, now we're moving to step 3, which is execute. Once we executed that, tell them what happened.
So once we executed the plan, which was to use the videos, make sure, work on my brand, I started hearing back from people. And it was people who had seen the video, they had heard word of mouth from someone who might have seen the video, where before I was growing just from word of mouth, and not wanting to be too big, I was being contacted by everyone. Even my nephew-in-law contacted me. Next thing I know, I have 6 of his friends I'm helping out. As a barber, he was trying to figure out, how do I get help? And so people were desperate. So I helped fill that need. And I had to recognize, because I didn't see that I had something people wanted.
Right. And you definitely do. Because when it comes to finances, most business owners they know how to do their business, but they do not know how to do their books or their taxes. And your firm is definitely great at that.
Thank you. And so, it was so important as I was executing, going through the process, that I kept sight of my goal. And that was to grow and help as many families, as many people as I can.
So how many videos, how many views did you get on that video?
If I'm not mistaken, was it 500-600?
Yeah.
I was like, I couldn't believe it. I would wake up from going to bed and I'm like, oh, another 100. I was so excited.
When you're
Um,
walking in purpose, that's what happens. People gravitate towards you. It is a part of when you have a vision and a plan and you execute it, that's the result, that people show up and let you know you're heading in the right direction, which is brings us to number 4, which is to decide. At that point, you had to make some decisions because now you're getting clients and things are changing. And so from the videos that we shot and the people that watched it, how many clients do you think you got from that plan we put together for you?
I would say I got maybe 30 to 40 clients,
Oh, goodness gracious. I didn't
which
even know
is a
that.
lot.
That's amazing. I'm
Okay.
impressed. I'm impressed myself, and I help you put that together.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's my typical tax season. Okay.
Yeah,
And
that's awesome.
so I was so focused on helping everyone. I mean, they would call me at all times. I was like, business hours didn't matter. It wasn't until we got through that piece that I started looking at the money and realized how much money I had made. I
Mm.
think within the first couple of weeks, I had tripled my annual income from my business by working with you.
Okay, hold up. That's okay. Purpose and Power Nation. We're taking a moment because that right there, that's powerful. All right, say
Mhm.
that again. What was your return on investment?
I had tripled what I would make in my business part time, which was from January, well, we'll call it February through April.
You
I had
tripled
already
that
tripled
revenue
that amount.
over what
Right.
period of time?
Within the first couple weeks, I was like, wow. By the time we got to, I want to say it was June, July, I started realizing that I was making a lot of money.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Um,
So,
And so I
so
had to actually invest to make sure I could handle all of the demands. Um, and, it was so interesting for me because I just got pumped every time I helped somebody else.
mhm.
I mean, and I was doing pro bono work too. It wasn't all paid, you
Okay, now that
know?
brings us to decision because I remember I had to push you a little bit because you have tremendous value and there's some things you were doing. We had to make some corrections and
Yep,
you had to make some decisions about that.
yep. And so we
Even your
did.
pricing. Yeah.
I did. You had me take a look at my pricing. You had to have me take a look at what work I was doing for free. You also had me decide, um, did I have any other abilities or lines that I wanted to offer to my clients?
Right.
And
Revenue, new revenue streams. Yeah.
I did. I had
Yeah.
additional revenue streams, and um, all I can say is that finally having my business was a dream come true. And it was perfect timing. Even though the world was horrible around me, I needed to put myself into a situation where I just worked because my mother had passed and I wasn't taking it well. So I needed, I focused and saw what was going on and I needed to work. And so a part of that, what was going on, is sometimes I would have a detour because of how I was feeling. If I was really sad, those were detours. And my clients kept me going because I knew I had work to do for my clients. I knew that they were counting on me to help
Now you bring us to number 5, choose the path. So
them.
all
Yeah.
those decisions brought you to a place where you had to choose your path, even with all of those kind of things. And so you chose your path. Now it also brings us to number 6, which is to persevere and to be determined. To talk a
Oh
little bit
man.
about that.
I mean, you talking about the valley. Whew. So even when you are doing everything right, you still have things that happen that kind of makes you feel like, man, I don't want to do this. This is a bad day.
Mm,
But you know what? If you're going to reach your goal, if you know that that is a passion of yours and you are determined and you persevere and you push through it, you get up. There were some days that I couldn't even get out of bed.
mm.
And my husband said, you know what? It's okay. Go do what you have to do for you so that you can continue doing what you need to do for your clients. So mental
Yeah.
health was very important because that was an issue going through the pandemic for lots of reasons, right? People were
Yeah.
passing away around us.
hmm That's good. And so, with all those things, you made some decisions. Part of those decisions brought you to the path where you had to choose your pathway to figure those things out. And we had to make some changes within the
Yes.
structure of your company. We had to look at your brand. I designed a couple of different things for you to help you build out your brand in terms of your logo, your website, your digital presence, all those things.
And I
How did
have to
that make you
say,
feel?
honestly, one of the biggest things that I love that you did for me was my electronic business card.
Mm,
Oh my gosh. And I was excited because, we had transitioned to a virtual world. So when I met someone, when they called or contacted me, the first thing I did was show them I was the real deal by sending them my electronic business card.
mm.
And they could go to my website then. They could look and say, oh, okay, she is real. But then I got totally hyped when he got my background. Oh my goodness.
That
Um,
virtual background. It's like,
Yes, my
yeah.
virtual background
Mhm.
with custombiz.zoom.
Nope.
Did I say it wrong?
CustomZoom.biz. You almost got
Custom
it. Yeah. If
biz.
you go to CustomZoom.biz, you'll see her. You see what she got.
Yeah, and before not having one, I didn't really know it was a part of my brand that I should have one because
Hmm.
on the screen at all times you can see the name of my company and how to contact me if
Yeah.
you need help.
Yeah.
And
That's good.
I was so excited, and I've told so many people about it. The other point I wanted to bring up as a part of making decisions, um, one of the things that as my business coach was shared with me that sometimes in order to grow, you have to change your circle of influence.
Mm, mm.
Okay. And if you're the biggest fish in your pond, it's time for a new pond.
Wow.
Because other when you're in an environment where you're not the sharpest pencil, it really challenges you to learn and to listen, to receive, because you become the person that's used to giving.
Mm.
It's totally different when you have to learn to receive.
Well, I can tell
Um,
you that you are a student that learns, buddy, because you just jumped into the bonus that I was going to give the Purpose and Power Nation,
okay.
because you did all seven. You had a vision, a plan, you executed it, you made the right decisions, you chose your path, you stayed on it with perseverance and determination, and you reached your goal of being an actual, real live, legal business owner that's providing an awesome service to people that gave you
Yes.
the result that you got, which was 3 times the revenue
Yes.
in like a short amount of time that you normally make in a year because you did exactly what you're supposed to do. And then what I call my magic number 8 or my special number 8 is what you just shared with the Purpose and Power Nation, which is once you reach your goal, and this is the thing that you got to get, she just shared it with you. The secret to finding success in the journey of your path to purpose and power is once you reach your goal, you have to set a new goal and begin again. And I'm going
Yeah.
to say it again. You have to set a new goal and begin again. And that's what we did. Once you hit that, and I saw you were there, I share with you that concept, which was to get outside of your normal influence and
Yep.
meet new people and get into new environments. And that's exactly what you did. And so there was a plan we put in place for that. We started all the way over with a
We did.
vision and going through each step. So how did that work out for
Extremely well. I have met so many amazing people. I have networked with so many amazing people. And for me, it's not just all about my business, it's helping others. I have a heart to help, right? And so I have several groups that I'm in. The Year of the Black Entrepreneur, which I absolutely love Ryan Ray
you?
because I started out with him in that group, and as I grew, I joined other groups that was recommended to me, and I started learning so much so that it was like a hose. I was taking in information through a hose instead of a spigot, right?
That's right. Well,
And
what was amazing is I told you that, I was going to lead the way, and I
yep,
was already involved in some groups, and I invited you into those groups, and one of them was YBE with
yes,
Ryan and Ray and his group, and it's been amazing. And because of that, you were selected to be one of the 28 speakers for Black History Month to be a speaker on his video show. So you were on
I
that show,
was,
which was
yes,
pretty powerful. And then I brought you on my show, and then
yes,
you were on my show, and because you were on our show, someone else saw you,
yes.
and
I've
they
been on
invited you.
several shows because of that first show.
Yeah, so you went on like a tour because now
Yes,
people saw you. You got your brand out there.
yes,
You became a person that was known for giving great information, delivering it in a way that people could understand it, and you're affordable. And I
yes,
think so. That's why you started generating all the clients. So you became a subject matter expert, and that's the thing that happens when you find your purpose. is you really start operating in the lane that you were born to operate in. Your gifts kick in and they make room for you. They bring you before great people. Even the Bible says that. So,
Yes.
and I commend you. You've been doing that. And because of that, even now, here you are again on my show on the Black Business Network. And we just like to thank Dr. Eric Kelly for all that he's doing for Black business owners.
Yes.
And he's also invited you to be a part of what we're doing, the Olympics that's coming up.
Yes, the Black Business Expo on June 7th. I will be presenting at 2 o'clock. We'll be pushing it out. But this is basically a week, an Olympics of business information.
Yeah.
Some of it is self-help, business. It is covering the gambit. I
Yeah.
would tell all of you all to get you a ticket to the Black Business Expo. Look it up and buy you a ticket so that you can tune in and receive all the information that's out there for you. I would also recommend, I've learned so much through the ATS Junior.
Wait a minute.
Um,
Before you move on to that, the
mhm.
Black Business Network is free. So it's a virtual Olympics, and it's going to be over 100 Black business owners that's going to be speaking every day over a 7-week period. Like Sadia said, starting on the 7th, and it's going to go all the way through for 7 days. And it's 24 hours a day. You're going to get
Amazing.
quality information for free from subject matter experts. So make sure that you're tuned into the Black Business Network and the Black Business Network Olympics and become a part of that. And so since you were a part of that, you got an invitation as well to be, I think it started out first with you going on Divine Connections with
I did.
Dolores.
After,
Dolores
yep. Mhm.
was at ATS. So go ahead.
And so I was invited to be on Divine Connections when Dolores saw us, I think,
YBE.
YBE with Ryan Ray, and then she invited you to ATS, and so I came over to ATS Junior because they are full. It's a university full of training. Their university, I'm telling you, they have much information on crypto, businesses, self-help, improvement, leadership, everything.
The ATS School of Business is what she's talking about. It's amazing. They have another thing called Mexitverse and
Yes.
Mexit News.
Oh my
which-
goodness, Mexit News.
Yeah, which I actually I have a show on there. And actually, I think somebody
People's
else is on
Congress.
the show.
I am on that show.
Come on now,
I was
it's called
invited
the
to be on
People's
that
Congress.
show, and I love it.
So Sadia is actually the co-producer of that show. I invited her to come over and join me over there. She's so intelligent. You definitely want her on your staff or working with you in any capacity that she has time to do. So make sure you reach out to her. Speaking of that, how can people reach out to you if they want to?
Well, you can reach out to me anytime, 804-349-8600. Feel free to text me. I will text you back. Also on the screen, you'll see my web address is www.pfsurcpa.com. So you can reach out to me there. You can look for me on LinkedIn and Facebook. On LinkedIn, I'm at PFSURCPA. And you can use PFSURCPA and find me on all my digital platforms. You can also use hashtag PFSLLC, and you will find me.
All right. So now there's 3 types of people that you work best with. What are those 3 types of people? And if Purpose and Power Nation is if you fit in any one of these categories, you make sure you reach out right now. Go ahead.
If it's those people who are starting a business or they have a business concept or they're new to business, I will certainly make sure you legitimize your business so that you can get all the tax deductions, so that you're operating legally with all of the licenses you need. And I will make sure that you have the information you need for a successful year. So important to get off to the right path with starting your business. So just text me at 804-349-8600. Now, you could possibly be that person who's been in business for a number of years and you love what you're doing, but goodness, you need some help with your bookkeeping, that monthly grind of looking to try to see what all of your expenses have been in order to be prepared for your taxes at the end of the year, in order to know how much money you have. Sometimes you're not even sure how much money you have. You only know your bank balance. So if that's you, I can help you with your bookkeeping. We can put a plan in place and help you budget. 804-349-8600. And then lastly, you could be that person who has been in business a long time. and you just want me to take and review your taxes. So I will take a look at your last couple years of taxes and let you know if there are any deductions that you have missed, what things you can do differently in the future to maximize your deductions and minimize the amount of tax you pay legally. So if you're one of those three people, go ahead and text me 804-349-8600, 8600, and I want you to text me one word, purpose, because you know your purpose, and my job is to help you reach your purpose.
Oh, that's all right. Purpose Empower Nation. That is Sadia Douglas, the owner of Prosperity Financial Services, doing what she's doing to help you become all you can be in your business and in your life. And hopefully today you gather something from this video 3 in our series. It's time to begin your journey to walking in purpose and in power. We want to encourage you to come back next week, and we'll have even more to share with you. And just remember this, the best is yet to come. We'll see you next time.
Are you looking for money saving strategies for your business and personal finances? Are you tired of working hard every day with little or nothing to show for it? Contact Prosperity Financial Services LLC right now for your free financial consultation. Call now to reserve yours today. 804-349-8600. 804-349-8600.